It's on the 1-yard line. 3rd down and goal to go. Penalty flags are down. The Giants have put it in the end zone. Let's wait for the officials and the penalty.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video, and welcome to the Gridiron. And before I get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you leave my videos like a thumbs up, or maybe leave a comment below, or share the video, I would greatly appreciate it. But anyway, thank you so much for taking time to watch the video. I highly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Well, today's Sunday, and Joe Judge is giving the guys a day off. Nothing really too crazy over the past couple of days. No big brawls or nothing. I mean, obviously there was we had another retirement. Zach Fulton called it quits. I mean, Kelvin Benjamin, Todd Davis, Joe Looney, Zach Fulton. I mean, phew. Just the one thing you can say is that they're not all like really old veterans at all or anything, but I mean, you know, they've all, you know, 6 years in the league, 6, 7+ years in the league or so. But Joe Judge did say between Fulton, Looney, and Davis, he is leaving the door open for all three of those guys to come back. He said, he said, you know, give yourself a couple days, think things over or something if you want to come on back, you know. And if you know, if after a couple days, you know, they still haven't changed their mind, he said, you know, the door is always open to them. He said, especially during a long season, you never know when you're going to need some backup or anything like that. So the door is always open to those guys. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, are they going to come back? Well, probably not. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Now, so in Fulton's absence, we have a spot open, and actually we had two guys. Well, we claimed one guy off waivers, right? Jack Hossman, all right, tight end off of waivers, and we signed a defensive back, Chris Johnson. Okay, nothing super spectacular. Hossman, I mean, Toilolu unfortunately went down for the season. So Toilolu, tall, good blocker, not much in the passing game, but that's what you're going to get with Hossman too. He's 6'4", 255 pounds. He came from Ohio State. I believe, if I read it correctly, in his career, Ohio State, he only had 3 receptions. And I think he had 1 touchdown against Rutgers. But he's a good blocker. So, you know, I mean, so we got a lot of tight ends. You know, so I mean, as I said, you gotta say with the Giants, they're trying. I mean, they got warm bodies they can bring in. They're bringing them in, giving them a try. So I don't know if he's gonna want to make it a team, but I mean, he's got some nice size to him, and as I said, apparently he's a good blocker. So we'll have to wait and see. Chris Johnson is still kind of like along the same boat. He's 6'2", 202 pounds. Right, he's normally like a safety. They list him as a defensive back, but I've seen safety for him. He came from Northern Alabama. He was an undrafted free agent in 2019, 2020. He was like, you know, with the Texans, the Eagles, and the Saints. From what I could see, he hasn't been credited with the snap at all in the regular season. So I don't know what, you know, I mean, what he's going to provide, you know, if he's going to make the team. But once again, I guess they're trying. You know, we'll just have to wait and see. But they did bring in a couple new guys. And I've been reading also, apparently Kenny Wiggins and Danny Shelton were to be somewhat commended for apparently pulling Daniel Jones out from underneath the pile of the brawl that they had earlier in the week. Kenny Wiggins was the one that kind of came out and said it. He said, apparently, he says, I'm too old to fight. You know, I've seen worse fights, he said, in preseason and all that and everything. But he said, I'm too old to fight. But somebody said that, but I think he heard, like, Daniel Jones was in the pile. And he's like, oh, something like, that's not good. So he went in. So I just looked for a red jersey and I pulled him out. So apparently between him and what he also mentioned, was Danny Shelton, also, the guy from the offense and a guy from the defense helped pull Danny Jones out. So that could be the save of the year. If he were to get hurt and we had to depend upon Mike Glennon, I don't know how promising a season we'd have to look forward to. Although Glennon's not that horrible of a quarterback. I mean, I can't say he's going to take it to the promised land, but he's not that horrible of a quarterback. He's tall. I mean, I think half of it is because he's got his neck is like a foot tall. He's got a big, tall neck. But a decent quarterback. He can go in there and certainly for a couple of games, too, if he had to or whatever, he can hold down a ship. For a couple of games. Absolutely. Could he win your game? Absolutely. But it's going to be a team effort. But this could be the save of the year. But between Kenny Wiggins and Danny Shelton. Also, I've been reading a lot is the defense. Has been kind of getting the better. I mean, it's been kind of going back and forth a little bit. The offense had a day here or a day there, but the defense has been doing pretty good. And a lot of times that's what winds up happening. The defense, in the beginning of the season, the defense seems to be far ahead of the offense, and as time goes by, the offense starts catching up to the defense, and in a lot of cases winds up passing it. But in the beginning, the defense usually does pretty good. And I've heard a lot about James Bradbury or the lack of, because sometimes with cornerback, it's the kind of sometimes like maybe an offensive lineman. Okay, like if you don't hear their name, they're doing pretty good. I mean, like with James Bradbury, if they're playing a game and you don't hear his name, that's because he's not getting burnt. They're not throwing the ball his way. Maybe he's not picking passes off, but a lot of times with Deion Sanders, you didn't hear his name a lot. I mean, why? Because they just don't throw the ball over there. I mean, when you're Isaac Yadam, hey, you're getting a lot of TV attention because they're not throwing the ball at James Bradbury, they're throwing it over your way where they can complete the passes. But Bradbury's doing very, very well, thankfully. Darius Williams has, he got, from what I was reading, it's like his first reps with the first team because Adoree Jackson. It's kind of like on a pitch count, because, what he went through with, being injured and all and everything. And they're trying to, keep him, his workload down, so they're not trying to overload him, so they're trying to keep him somewhat healthy and fresh, all for the regular season. I mean, he's a seasoned veteran. He doesn't, he needs to know the playbook, obviously, but it's not like, he's a rookie like Darius Williams, right? Adoree Jackson, he's your second cornerback. All right. But Darius Williams came in and stepped in, and did a very, very good job. He had an interception, and he also, believe he was saying in his press conference, Jabrill Peppers had an interception as well, too. But Darius Williams seemed to think that he said he got a hand on the ball, tipping it, and Jabrill Peppers picked it off. So Darius Williams, pretty impressive. That's man, a 6th-round pick. Gotta love it, baby. Gotta love it. And Rodarius Williams, his brother is Greedy Williams, who plays for the Cleveland Browns. Which the Giants are we're gonna wind up having a 2-day practice against them. We're going to Cleveland, have a 2-day practice against them. So he's looking forward to that. So I'll tell you what, if Rodarius can be anywhere good as his brother Greedy Williams, we got ourselves a pretty good cornerback there. Now, still haven't seen Aaron Robinson. Don't know exactly when he'll be there or not, but we might have gotten a couple good guys in the secondary. And then you look at Julian Love, which you got a couple years ago, and you got Darnay Holmes. The past couple of years, we might in the draft. I'm not saying we've got a shut down corner or nothing like that. Okay, but I'm sorry, I forgot about Xavier McKinney. I'm just talking about guys that we drafted. Okay, talking about Jabrill Peppers, who's still young, but we didn't draft him. We got him in a trade. But but with Xavier McKinney and Love and Holmes and Williams and Robinson, we might have picked up some pretty good young talent there. Let me tell you what. So Rodarius doing pretty good, and then I also heard about Darnay Holmes. Okay, he's been doing pretty well too. He apparently had like the highlight interception of training camp, or the highlight play of training camp, for what I was reading online so far. He had a very, very good diving interception. And then again, he also later on had a pass breakup as well too. So he's doing pretty good now. He's going to be fighting, whenever Aaron Robinson get back in there, and they have some competition there for that slot cornerback. But right now, Darnay Holmes seems to be picking up where he left off last year, doing very, very well. And also another thing that's really rather impressive is Sterling Shepard. God bless him. He's pulling Darnay Holmes off to the side, like I was reading, like after the reps were over with. I don't know, that means like after practice is over with, or exactly what, but he's pulling him over to the side, and he's giving him pointers on what to do to make things difficult for a receiver. He apparently he's always like, giving them little tips and tricks here on what to do to make life miserable for the receivers. So you gotta give the guy a lot of credit. So, not only is he's telling them what to do, like in practice, to make the offense look bad, but also in the long run, of course, it's going to do nothing but help the defense. And if you can help the defense, you're helping out the offense. So you got to give Sterling Shepard a lot of credit. Now, the one bright spot, I also, Leo the Lion, I heard the past day or so, he's been doing very, very good. Dexter Lawrence, he's been doing very, very well. Apparently, a lot of times, some of those guys have been getting in the backfield, and they could have had quite a few sacks on the quarterback if they were allowed to tackle the quarterback, but they couldn't. So, I think the offensive line might have a little bit of work cut out for them. Now, we have, with the guys today, these guys like with Looney and Fulton, those are some of the more experienced offensive line. We still got a lot of offensive linemen, but a lot of them are young. We got a couple, like Kenny Wiggins. We got Nate Solder. But a lot of the guys are young. And I was between Looney and Zach Fulton retiring, I thought we would be looking, try to get a couple offensive linemen in here, to try to, fill the voids left by these two experienced offensive linemen. The one thing you can say is with Zach Fulton, is that when Lemieux went down, apparently Kenny Wiggins stepped in there and he was taking the reps for Shane Lemieux, So Zach Fulton wasn't. So it wasn't like Zach Fulton was taking the first team reps, or he seems like he's a guaranteed second stringer guard, or So between Looney and Zach Fulton, I can't say we didn't. We lost some quality depth. But it wasn't like, they were guaranteed starters or anything like that. As I said, Kenny Wiggins is taking the reps, and Zach Fulton wasn't. And Jonathan Harrison's back in there, too. So what Looney, was, he was going to be like, the center, maybe a backup center, or maybe a guard. Then we got Jonathan Harrison in there, obviously, then we got Nick Gates. So, we do got some depth. It's just a lot of young guys. I thought we would try to get somebody with some experience in there, but it is what it is. I'll keep my eye out for it. But the bright spot I saw on the offense was David Sills, and he just keeps seeming to pop up there. It's a shame because I believe it was the second to last practice last year he broke his foot, and he apparently thought he said, what he was saying is like, if you broke your foot or something, you shouldn't be able to walk on it. He said he thought it was like a bruise or something. Because apparently he was able to walk on it and everything, and then they got the X-ray and he found out it was broken. He was kind of like, ugh. They put him on injury reserve, and it just broke his heart. But apparently, he's following Daniel Jones all over the place, especially in before practice started. All right, he took over the spare bedroom, at his sister's house in Charlotte, North Carolina. All right, and then apparently he got himself a credit card with frequent flyer miles on it, which he's putting to good use. He's followed Daniel Jones kind of like almost all around the country, catching passes with him from wherever he goes. They did spend a lot of time together in Charlotte, North Carolina. Apparently there's some ball fields around, and they were throwing and catching. So they spent a lot of time basically where his sister's house is. Then they went out to Scottsdale, Arizona. Okay, that's when Daniel Jones had as many wide receivers come out there, and he was out there throwing balls out there. David Sills was out there again. And then they went to Mobile, Alabama. It was like a quarterback camp, I believe it was. And David Sills went there too, and he was catching balls from Daniel Jones. Now, he's 6'3", right? He's not quite as tall as Kenny Golladay, but 6'3". That's a nice sized target. Now they got, let's see, we got Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, Darius Toney, Darius Slayton. Those are the four. Okay, you can pretty much lock them in. All right. Now, how many is going to keep on the roster? We're going to keep 6. Keep maybe 7. I mean, so you got, so the other 2, maybe 3 spots you're going to have with Alex Bachman, David Sills, John Ross, don't forget about him, C.J. Board, Dante Pettis, so like those 5 guys are John Ross had a very good touchdown as well too. He caught a pass and he put on the Jets and nobody touched him, so. Alex Bachman caught a couple touchdown passes, I believe, as well, too. So it's going to be interesting. But the one name I just keep hearing, all right, is David Sills. So don't be surprised if he don't make the roster. He did have a very, very good catch as well, too. He caught a ball. He jumped up in the air in the back of the end zone, jumped above Adoree Jackson, came down with the ball, and toe tapped his feet in before he fell out of bounds for a touchdown. Great catch, great touchdown. And it was so good that I don't know exactly how far the ball was thrown or whatever, but apparently Andrew Thomas and Will Hernandez came running down and gave him chest bumps. So it fired up the offense. And I'll tell you what, if it takes David Sills to fire up the offense, it works for me, because apparently so far, the defenses are getting the better of the offense. So the offense can use all the spark it can need. And I'll tell you what, if David Sills is the man, I'm all for it. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!